think I'm okay. Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining me. I think my computer's okay. I wonder if other people talk to themselves this much when they're doing live streams. You're gonna want a blanket, a yoga strap, and a block or a roller or a paper towel thingamajiggy. And we're going to start, let's start on the hands and the knees. So no one's having any requests this morning, but Rennie and Barb both liked the glute and ab exercise class, so we might introduce some of that stuff in today, but let's just kind of see how things go. So here you are going to be kneeling, and this one is pretty darn familiar if you come to my classes. We're going to displace the right knee back a couple inches. So keep in mind that is just a couple inches. Take a breath in, let your chest pull a little forward in between your arms, and as you exhale, you're going to let your back round. So however far back you want to go into child's pose, inhale, come up again, pull your chest forward, exhale, and round. We can stay in this one leg back child's pose and walk over to the left if that feels good. And then you can walk back, come up, and we're going to let that right leg float up. So I'm striving to keep my hips level. I'm going to push into the ground with my arms. I'm going to pull up my belly. And then when I feel like I might be able to handle it, I'm going to stretch my left arm forward. So you can keep lifting your leg higher, but not your hip. Take a deep breath in. If you want, you could reach back and grab onto your right foot with your left hand. This may turn into a hamstring cramp. Just want you to know. You could push your foot into your hand and just gently pull your ear around to the right if you want. Right ear to right. And then let's extend everything, and we're going to come back. We're going to let that left leg go back a little bit. We'll take a breath in here and find that one leg back child's pose. And then float up, breathe in, and repeat. Float up, inhale, and exhale. This time we're going to stay walking the upper body over to the right. And then we're going to walk forward, and we're going to push into the arms, and we're going to float that left leg up. So it's bent. It's bent, and we're trying not to lift the hip a lot. We're trying to square them to the ground like headlights. One of my Pilates teachers used to say that all the time. She was like headlights, no drunk driving. Push into your left arm and bring your right arm forward. So here you might feel some ab work. That would be partly what we are trying to feel. You can activate the abs a little more by drawing them up. And then we're going to grab onto that foot maybe. You could also opt to just come out. You could push your foot into your hand and wrap your ear over to the left, head to the left if you want. And then let's extend everything, inhale and come back, exhale. We're gonna stand and we'll do something that's pretty familiar, I think, which is this, sorry, my nose is running. Rotating arms in and out. So when you inhale, you can rotate the arms out in the shoulder joint. And when you exhale, you're going to rotate them in. So it'll be out. You could draw your shoulder blades together if that feels good. And then in, and you're going to broaden your shoulder blades. So we'll inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. If you want to add some spine movement in, you could stop here. Chest is lifting, pubic bone is pushing forward. You could stay in this hitchhiking arm position. Or, if you want, you can take your arms behind you and we can slide our hands down towards our heels. So you may keep going with this if you want, but you'll probably want to keep pushing your pubic bone forward so that you're not finding a lot of arch in your low back. So the sensation is going to be lifting and then going back. Pushing the pubic bone forward. We're going to come out of that. Two options. The hardest one is going to be to take your interlaced hands to the left. So I've got the back of my right hand on my left glove handles. Less challenging for your shoulder is going to be to grab onto your left arm somewhere with your right. So please pick one unless none work. And then we're just going to tip our head over to the left. And that's true whatever arm position you've opted for. I like the back of the head because that kind of gets those front scaling muscles on the right, which tend to get really tight when you're texting and looking at your phone. You could also try ear or even the chin to the shoulder. And then let's let the head lift. Either you're going to slide the back of the left hand over to the right, or you're going to grab onto your right arm somewhere with your left. So we will be tipping the head over to the right. Maybe it's the back of the head. And then let's just come out of that slowly. We're going to release. We're just going to shake our arms out. Maybe up and down. Yes, this is jerky. So let's proceed to fall over. Oh, by the way, if you want to have a chair nearby for your balance, please get that. Falling over made me remember. We're going to start with our hands on our hips, and we're going to send the hips back. So If you remember, sit bones are broadening, so it's your tail feathers are going to be sticking out. Yes, we've been doing this one a lot. We're going to take our arms wide, turn the palms up, bring them up. So I'm still in this slight diagonal, and I am going to bend my right arm, I'm not mirroring you, and pull it behind me. Yes, this is really not feeling very graceful, but let's go with it. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to try pulling my head back into my arm, and I'm going to send my right elbow up to the ceiling. I hope that was correct. And then let's go ahead and release our arms. And now we're going to wrap the right arm on top into an eagle. So I'm still in a squat. I could go even deeper if I'm feeling ambitious. But I want to pull my ribs up a little bit. So I'm not dropping my torso on top of my thighs, but keeping the space between the ribs and the thighs. And then I'm going to lift up that right leg, yes, it's the same arm and leg, and take it over. Butt against the wall is a good option if you wanted a modification or balance, because I have no arms to hold on, as you probably noticed. Perhaps you unfold yourself from eagle and come into a warrior three. Arms can be by your sides. Left buttock pulls up. Right leg lifts, keeping it aimed to the floor. And then let's come out. So the modification for this is to take your right foot down like a kickstand. So here we go. We're taking our hips back. We're in Utkatasana, known as the lightning bolt pose. We're going to bring that left arm up and bend it and pull it behind the head. So I'm pulling my head back into my arm slightly. I'm reaching my elbow up. If you have really short arms like me, that might not feel very spacious. And then I'm going to take my arms wide and wrap my left arm over and my left leg over. So whatever version of this is going to work for you, it is possible to keep that left foot on the ground the whole time. You could deepen your squat. We could take that leg back, arms back. You have your kickstand. And you can lift the leg as the torso comes down. And then let's just come on out. Okay, we're gonna come down and if you are somebody who wants to do shoulder stand, we're gonna be doing that now. If you would prefer, sorry, I'm looking at all my various props. If you would prefer to have something under your hips, that is a great option and a safe option. If you're doing shoulder stand and you know how to fold up your blanket, you could do that. I'm not there to correct you. And the only thing you want to be careful about is making sure that your head is off the blanket and your shoulders are on. If your head is on the blanket, it won't provide any release for your cervical spine, which is what our goal is. So easiest for this is going to be to lay here with the legs. You could also do a shoulder stand, which is going to require that you get your hips over your shoulders. So this is great if you're somebody that wants to be even more vertical. Sorry, I'm choking on my sweatshirt. You could try for more verticality. Usually having your hands a little closer to your shoulder blades is going to make that good. You do not want to be turning your head, so try to avoid that. And if you want, from your shoulder stand, you could explore one leg, lowering behind you. This could also be done if you are on a blanket, but it is different. Do try to keep that leg straight and the foot flexed. So whether or not the leg gets to the ground is not going to be as important. Should feel like a little bit of hamstring stretching. And then let's go ahead and lift the leg if it's lowered. That can be an inhale. And the other leg could lower on your exhale. And again, you're reaching into the foot, flexing it, reaching it more behind you than down. But if it gets down to the floor, that's cool too. And then go ahead and lift that leg if it's still behind you. If you're still in shoulder stand, go ahead and come on out. And if you're on an elevation, go ahead and come on out. So we're going to go on to the right side. This is going to be our counter pose for today, for shoulder stand. You're laying on your right side. If you want to have some blanket under your head, that's cool. In this one, you could cradle your head in your arm. I think that'll work too. So we're going to lay kind of like we're going to sleep. And we're going to roll our top hip a little forward and lengthen it away from the shoulder. Then we're going to lift our top leg. It's going to stay bent. And it's going to come behind you. And as that leg comes behind you, think of that left butt pushing forward. So you get a lot of glute activation. And then you're going to bring that leg up and towards your head. I am not going to move my spine and hopefully not change the position of my low back. So the action is the leg moving and the hip rather than the low back kind of swaying around in the air. If you want to add some breathing, you can inhale as that leg goes back and exhale as it comes up. So we're going to take that leg back, and where is going to depend, because you're going to try to straighten it and then bend it. So we've got it enough behind us that we feel our glute. However, you do not want to be swaying your low back. So you're kicking backwards a little, a lot, depending on your flexibility, and then you're going to bend. Kicking back, little, a lot, and then bending. Take a little rest with that leg resting on the bottom one. And then we're going to straighten that top leg. Roll your hip forward again. Lengthen your side again. We're going to lift that leg up, bring it forward, touch it down, bring it up, take it behind us, and touch it down. So I like to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Whatever breathing seems to make the most sense to you. This can be kind of explosive if you choose. Let's rest again. I say let's be done with this. We're going to move to the back. If there is any reason why you weren't on your right side, then you'll do the opposite. But if you were on your right side, you're going to bring your left leg up and cross it over. So this is Sharon Stone. You could stay there, or you could bring your entwined legs into you. Left foot pulled over to the right. Right foot could be grabbed and pulled over to the left. I remind you that putting a slight arch in your low back is going to make this more glute stretch for those of you who want more. Pulling your feet wide to the walls on either side is also going to help. Ow. Let's take a deep breath in. We're going to undo, set our feet down, exhale. We're going to go to our second side. So as you turn, you don't have to face me. We're going to roll that top leg forward and top hip, and lengthen that top waist. We're going to bring that top leg up, keeping it bent, taking it behind us. Thinking of that right butt pushing into the space in front of us. So you are feeling your butt. We're going to exhale as that knee comes into the chest and inhale as the leg stretches back. Let's take our leg behind us and then try to straighten it and then bend it back. So ideally, low back stays, whatever it was doing. So you can even think of reaching your top leg and pubic bone forward as your leg goes behind you. And then let's take a little rest. And then let's extend that leg. We're going to bring it up. We're going to bring it forward, drop it, up, behind us, drop. So it's going to be inhale, exhale. Sound effects help a lot too. Inhale up, Inhale up. Or it can be up, down. Life's very boring. Sound effects help. Actually, life's a little bit too exciting today for me. Okay. We're gonna come to the back. We're gonna do Sharon Stone. We're gonna have our right leg on top, unless you happen to be doing a different side. And if you want to bring your legs to you, great, but you don't have to. And if you want to grab that right leg and pull it a little more over to the left, you can. You can put a little bit of arch into your low back to facilitate that stretch. And then let's take a deep breath in, and we are untwining, feet to the ground, exhale. We're gonna come onto the stomach. I'm gonna go sideways, and I'm just gonna have you watch this first version of Cobra. So we'll have our arms in our very classical Cobra pose, which means that the hands are next to your chest and your elbows are up. What we're going to do differently is we're going to shrug our shoulders up as we lift our chest. And then at the top, we're going to roll our shoulders down and pull our elbows down and into our sides. And then we're going to come down. So it's a really long inhale, shoulders shrug up, chest lifts. At the top, you're going to roll your shoulders down, exhale, and then come down. We're going to do that several more times, and what you're going to want to not do is use your arms to lift you. So this is going to be purely back strength, which is a little different than the Cobra Light that we do, where we get to use our arms. As you pull your arms down and in and back at the top, you might feel a little bit of work in your triceps and other muscles in your arms. I'd like you to try to stay, but you don't have to, of course. At the top, shoulders down, elbows in, arms down, belly pulls up. I like kind of pretending like I have a grapefruit in between my legs and I'm squeezing. It does tend to help with the inner thigh core activation. One more inhale. I'm going to come all the way down. Exhale, hands can be under the forehead or the chin. We're going to do that same position with the arms, but this time, as you inhale, you're going to lift your chest and widen your arms to the sides. Lift your legs and widen them, and then bring everything back on your exhale. So you're going up, wide, inhale, and back, exhale. At the top, you're going to take an exhale. On your inhale, you're either pulling your legs together and your arms back, or your legs together and your arms are going to go forward. We're going to try to stay here for 6 breaths. So your legs are up, your arms are up. It's way easier if your arms are back and into your sides. Sorry, it gets really hard to talk when you're doing that and do it at the same time. So, of course, you come out whenever you need to. And then because it's good, we're going to do a little bit of work on our taquito roll. So whenever you're ready to move to something different, you've got your blanket rolled up in such a way that you can take both your head and your tailbone on, unless you're Heather, and then you're just going to have your upper body on and your butt off. So we will be laying on this. We're going to do a little bit of chest opening, and then we're going to do our weird fish variation, and then we're going to do the real fish if people want to. So little B, taquitoing, which is our new verb. You want to feel like you're kind of draping over. And let's just say bonus points if you want to gently pull your shoulder blades together and down, so you're wrapping your shoulder blades around your taquito, pulling them down the back. Then we're going to relax that, stretch our arms up. This is a shoulder blade push-up, where you keep our arms perpendicular and straight, and we're going to exhale and pull our shoulder blades around the blanket, and then inhale and stretch up with the shoulder blades broadening. So you got quite a bit of shoulder blade movement in the beginning when we were doing that weird one. No, it isn't weird, it's great. And then somewhere in between, arms bend, forearms come together, and then we're going to open wide with goalpost arms, and you might make it to the ground, or you might not with your arms. And if you don't make it to the ground, that's fine. Please don't go to where your shoulder hurts. So your exhale, arms together, inhale, wide. Exhale, arms together. Inhale wide. Here you could stay. Exhale, pull your elbows into your sides. Inhale, back to goalpost. So this is a small little bird action. Okay, another inarticulate day. But if your arms are on the ground, cool. If they're not, let them hover and try to keep every part of your arm the same distance, hovering. And then we're just going to let our arms relax. Here, you've got just your head off the blanket. Heather, you could take your rest of you on and your head off. And we're going to bunch up the end of that blanket so that it forms a little bunch lump under the neck. Mine got all lopsided, but hopefully yours won't do that. So we will be dropping the back of the head below the neck. Another counter pose to life. And this is intended to feel pleasant. Some options. You could keep doing this. There's no need to come out, but if you wanted to do an actual fish pose, maybe contraindicated for a lot of people's necks. So with some yoga poses, you have to ask yourself whether the risks outweigh the benefits. This is a great modification for fish. If you wanted to do fish, you could roll off your lump. Fish is one where you also do not want to be looking side to side. It's a little tricky if you have a hood on. I remember that now. And so we're going to prop ourselves up onto our elbows. Hold the elbows close and then drop back onto the head. And that's kind of the back of the crown of the head. Shoulders draw down, away from the ears. You can hold this for about 4 breaths. As you come out, you could rest. We're going to take this one step further. If you felt like you wanted to go further, please watch before doing. So we'll come back up into a fish, possibly. Needs to be bent or straight. And then you're going to lift your arms and lift your legs. And this is not as bad as it looks because there's some counterbalancing that happens. If you want to give that a shot, you could stay there for 4 breaths as well. And when you're ready to be out, just be out. If you want to stick something under your head for this next short interim, you could. We're going to go straight into Bond Girl arms and interlacing, letting the upper body tip. So if you're still on your taquito, go ahead and come on out. And then we'll let our arms lower and we're going straight into lungy twisty. So we'll let one leg tip over, other foot's gonna press down and you're pushing your hip up. And then we'll go straight to our second side. So this will be a dynamic version. You're gonna inhale and switch on your exhale. So in the dynamic version, it may be most prudent to not let the other leg drop all the way over, because then it's a little hard to recover. And then we're going to stay on one side. So you're pushing into a foot, you push your hip up, you feel your tail tucking in between your legs. And then inhale, and you're going to switch. And then let's come on out, and we're going to roll onto any side that feels good. We'll come up. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So your taquito roll, hopefully it's still taquito-ish. We want this in our upper back, so that's likely going to be right below your shoulder girdle, maybe just a centimeter below your bra line. Knees are bent. This is our new favorite upper body stretch. I will give you a visual if you want. I'm going to reach my arms behind me. I'm going to form a little box for my head. So I'm grabbing opposite hand to elbow or opposite hand to forearm, and then I'm going to reach my elbows and my forearms behind me and let my arms lower towards the ground. So it is possible to either relax your wrists and let them kind of jut up to the ceiling, or you can try pressing them a little into your blanket, which might be interesting as well. Keep reaching your elbows back to the wall behind you. You could stay in this, but switch which arm is closest to your head. And reach again. And then let's take a deep breath in. And we're going to float our arms back to our sides. As we roll onto the side, if you would like to get your blanket for your knees, you can. I'm going to go sideways. This next thing is going to be pretty intense weight bearing. So if you're somebody who is having a lot of shoulder or wrist issues, you're welcome to sit it out. And we are, so I might have you watch. You're gonna turn your toes under, and I'm pushing into the floor with my arms, and I'm gonna not drop my head or not lift it. So back of the head could be reaching up. You might think of your nose kind of pulling back up. We're just gonna lift our knees and then set them down. So this is a very, I don't even think you can call it a downward dog. So your exhale, push into the floor, float your knees up. Your inhale, they come back. So ideally, it feels like all sorts of things in your torso have to pull up to make the legs lift. If you would rather not do this, I totally understand. One more time, we're going to stay. Keep drawing up and in. This is your Shamu sling. You could stay here, you could move into child's pose, or you could send your body into a downward dog if you like. And then we're going to all meet on our knees, and we're going to allow our left foot to come out. So this is an inner thigh stretch. We're going to start with an arch in the foot, and as we stay, we're going to drop that inner thigh and groin on the left side to the floor, and maybe you even come onto your forearms. And then we're going to come up, and this next thing is kind of optional. Some people's knees might not like it, but look at my left foot. I'm going to turn it so I'm now on the big toe side, and my sole of my foot's reaching away. In this one, I'm going to drop that left hip again, but then now I'm going to walk over to that left foot. And then we're coming back into center, and we're going to bend that knee. I was just trying child's pose. Try child's pose and see if you feel a big difference in your two sides. Second side. So you're taking your foot out. We're having an arch in the foot. We're going to drop our right hip, groin, inner thigh, and maybe come down and onto our forearms. And then coming up, if you're on your forearms, and turning your foot so that the sole of the foot is away and the big toe, you're on the big toe side of the foot. Drop your hip, walk over maybe. And then let's come up. And we're going to bend that knee, and maybe we find another child's pose. So we're just going to do a camel, and here you're going to want ideally something tall like a paper towel roll. If you have a roller, that would be good, but the short one, not the really long one. And the block would also work. Some people may be totally fine. I just don't want people to crunch their low backs. So I'm going to say I'm doing the opposite. I'm taking this right next to my left foot. And kind of, sorry, it's never gotten warm in here. We're going to bring our arms up. Feel free to watch. Left arm's going to come down. It can rotate out. It can rotate in. What I'd like you to notice is that I'm keeping my femurs perpendicular. I'm going to push my pubic bone forward, and I'm going to lift my ribs and then tip back. So all of those little things have to happen to make this feel safe. Pubic bone forward, ribs up. It's like I'm a question mark more than a C shape. If this feels good, you can tip back and stretch that right arm behind you. And then we're coming up. Left arm can lift, arms come down. If you want to take this over to your other side, go ahead and do that. Please be safe with this. Sometimes people's backs get crunched. Arms up. Right arm comes down. You can explore rotation. I usually rotate in because I have really hyperextending elbows. Pubic bone forward. Ribs go up and then they go back. Left arm can reach behind you. You can go really into this, which means you could drop your head, but you don't have to. Dropping the head. The yogis say that if you're pulling your shoulders down and together, they're creating a little hammock for your head. You're going to have to decide if that feels true for you or safe for you. I think it's a little different when you have just one arm up or one arm down. Cup half full, cup half empty. Okay, we're going to come on up. We're going to lower our arms. How are you guys doing? This is where I wish I could talk to you. Okay, let's come to sit. We're only going to do a few more things. This is going to be something that you might want some cushion. And we're going to start in a Z sit. Knees to the right, feet to the left. So if you feel tight in your hips, have a lot of elevation under your hips, tighten your left buttock, reach it to the right, inhale, set it back down, exhale. This is just like lungy twisty, but have a different shape and angle. I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's just tons of bird activity going on outside. Setting that hip down, it might not be down, so don't stress if it isn't. We're gonna bring our right arm up, and thinking of that armpit going up, crown of the head going up, and then we're gonna side stretch. Twist your ribs to the right, lean to the left. You decide how far you want to go into this. Keep getting taller and longer and more spread in your ribs. And then we're coming up slowly. We're going to lower that arm and we're going to switch. So we'll be in a Z sit with the feet going to the right and the knees going to the left. We're going to push that buttock up, inhale, and set it back down, exhale. We're going to stop and we're going to bring that left arm up. So again, you're going to go up, 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 and over. Ribs are going to twist to the left, body is going to lean to the right. Sorry, I have a weird shoulder, so I'm trying to make it unweirder. Keep broadening those ribs, keep getting longer in your spine. We're going to take a breath in, we're going to come up, and we're going to come out. We're going to flip this right leg over and try a Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana, you will probably want to release the flesh of the buttocks back. You can pull your feet close or not. I think it's easier if they're a little farther away. But if you want to grab your feet, bring them close enough and open them kind of like you're reading a book. We're going to let our spine lengthen. And there's a number of different emphases for this. I like the one where your knees are reaching for the side walls. Depending on how flexible you are, you may be able to tip your torso forward and press your elbows or your forearms down on your inner thighs. And if you want to give that a shot, please do. We're going to come up slowly. If it's nice to use your arms to help bring your legs back together, go ahead and do that. We're going to finish with a little repetitive bridge movement. So at this juncture, nothing under the head. If you want to have your props nearby, that would be cool. So this is going to be a fairly loose bridge. Sorry, that's my weird, I call it my Grim Reaper square on my computer because it always has bad news. So we're going to take our feet pretty wide. They don't have to be wider than the mat, but you want your hips to relax and your glutes to work a little harder. That might seem contradictory, but let's not cute about that right now. Okay, we're gonna push into our feet and lift our hips. That can be can come right back down again on your breath out. So your inhale is going to be a lift, and your exhale is a out. And then just coming up and staying. And as you stay, pelvis is reaching for the calves. So we want a sense of traction almost in your spine. Your pelvis is reaching for your calf, but what if you're pulling your feet towards your butt? So butt's going to work a little harder. We didn't talk arms. I neglected to tell you to get your yoga strap, but if you want to interlace your arms under you, that's cool. Please strive to have straight arms if you opt for that. Shoulders rolling under you and together is going to make that way easier. So it's almost like you're on the outer edges of your shoulders. Keep reaching your pelvis to your calves. Take one more inhale. We're going to float back to the ground under your arms. Exhale. If you want to bring your knees into your chest, please do. We're going to finish with some head circling. So now's a good time to get cushion under your head if that's what you desire. If you do put something under your head, try to have it not on your neck, but just on the back of the head. Any other props that you want, have them nearby, but not getting fully set into Shavasana quite yet. If your head was pressed onto the ceiling, you are going to be tracing circles on the ceiling with your nose, because you're going to circle your head gently. And you're trying to go slow. Circles can be big, they can be small, just make them slow. We're going to go in the other direction now. Slow circles. And then you're just going to let your head relax. And now is your time to get yourself optimally comfortable for relaxation. So if that involves putting something under your knees, more layers. Maybe there's a stretch that you still feel like your body needs. Go ahead and do that. And then maybe finding your shoulders down and away from your ears again. You could allow your eyes to close, your mouth to open. Really big yawn, letting go of any tension that you're holding in your face. And I'm going to have you let your awareness rest in a place kind of in the center of your torso, kind of the solar plexus, the gut. And you're just withdrawing your attention to that spot inside. Maybe you're using all the energy generated from your practice to feel like you're creating this solid core of warmth. And then this next thing is optional, but if you want, whenever you exhale, you could recite to yourself the mantra Ram, which is a Bija mantra, which is for the solar plexus. So I won't try to educate you on what Bija mantras are right now, but you would just go Ram, 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 silently, mentally on your exhale. And your inhale would just be status quo. And then if you like, Ram, Ram, Ram. And just feel that vibration. Even if you are doing this silently, you will feel it kind of ruminating through your torso. And you can keep going mentally, silently, wrong, wrong, wrong. And then you can allow that mantra to go and just let your attention drift But maybe you just remain aware of that area in the center of your torso. Start to deepen your breath. When you're ready to transition, you could just tip over to the side, come up, we'll sit to close. And you can, when you're ready, use your inhale to bring your palms away and back together on the exhale in front of the heart. Namaste. Thank you for joining me this morning. So as I said in the email, we're going to definitely just do a live stream on Monday. If for some reason the stay-at-home order does get lifted, we'll still just do live stream on Monday. And then go from there, maybe. I don't think it's going to get lifted. And then Jill sent me an email and let me know that irregardless isn't a real word. And that grammar is really important during the pandemic. And this is where I say that I got kicked out of junior high, both 7th and 8th grade, so I think that's when they taught grammar. And that's a good story, but I won't tell that to you right now. The kicking out, not the grammar part. So yeah, thanks for continuing to participate. It really means a lot to me. And sometimes I feel like these streams are keeping me sane. Have a lovely day.